Picture this. It's late at night. The world is quiet, but your chest feels heavy. You're not crying. You're not angry. You're just tired in a way sleep can't fix. Your phone is nearby, but you already know there will be no message that explains what went wrong. No words that give closure. No apology that heals what slowly broke inside you. You loved honestly. You stayed when it was hard. You chose depth in a world that prefers convenience. And somehow, that became your punishment. No one talks about this part of love. The part where a man gives everything, not loudly, not dramatically, but consistently. The part where you listen more than you speak, where you adjust instead of demand, where you believe that if you just love a little deeper, understand a little better, sacrifice a little more, things will work. But instead, something changes. Not in a moment you can point to, not in a fight you can remember clearly. It changes quietly, inside her. She starts looking at you differently. She starts feeling something she can't explain, and you feel it before you understand it. This is the story of men who didn't fail at love. They failed at protecting themselves inside it. This is about why loving too deeply, without boundaries, without balance, without a center, slowly turns devotion into weakness. Why respect fades not because you were bad, but because you forgot who you were. What I'm about to tell you may hurt. It may challenge what you were taught, but if you've ever felt someone pull away right after you gave your heart fully, then this truth is for you. Listen carefully, my brother, because this isn't about women. This is about the moment a man abandons himself and doesn't realize it until everything is already gone. You're sitting alone, not because you want to be, but because loving too deeply slowly pushed you here. The room is quiet, but your mind is loud. Every memory replays like a punishment you didn't know you signed up for. You gave honesty, loyalty, presence, patience. You gave love the way poets describe it, without limits, without calculation. And somehow that became the very reason everything changed. You didn't become cruel. You didn't betray her. You didn't stop caring. You simply loved too deeply. And no one ever warned you what that does to a man. You see, my friend, love sounds noble when it's spoken about in stories. But real life doesn't reward depth the way movies promise. Real life runs on psychology, on power, on emotional balance. And when a man pours his entire emotional world into one woman, something invisible but irreversible begins to happen. At first, she feels special, desired, chosen. Your attention becomes a mirror where she sees her value reflected back. She likes how you listen, how you remember small details, how you adjust yourself to keep her comfortable. She tells you you're different. She tells you she feels safe. And you believe this is love growing. But slowly, without you noticing, the dynamic shifts. You stop challenging her, you stop leading, you start explaining yourself instead of standing firm. Your happiness begins to depend on her mood, her replies, her approval. And that's where the damage begins. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, biologically, emotionally. Every woman, whether she admits it or not, responds to strength before sentiment. Not brute force, inner strength, direction, emotional containment. A man who feels grounded within himself. When you love too deeply, you unknowingly hand that center away. You begin orbiting her instead of standing in your own gravity. Her nervous system feels it before her mind understands it. What she once interpreted as devotion slowly registers as dependence. What felt like intimacy starts feeling like pressure. Your constant availability removes mystery. Your emotional transparency removes polarity. Your sacrifices, instead of earning appreciation, lower perceived value, like a currency that floods the market and loses its worth. This isn't cruelty. This isn't her being evil. This is how the brain works. At a neurological level, attraction feeds on dopamine, anticipation, uncertainty, emotional tension. When you make her the center of your emotional universe, dopamine collapses into predictability. Your love becomes guaranteed. And guaranteed things are rarely respected. You start noticing small changes. She responds slower. She questions your decisions. She tests you, subtly at first, then openly. You feel it, but you don't want to believe it. So you do what loving men are taught to do. You give more. You explain your feelings better. You apologize faster. You soften your boundaries to keep the peace. And with every step, respect leaks out. Not because she hates you, but because she no longer feels you could walk away. You see, brother, respect and love are not the same currency. Love can exist without respect, but it becomes unstable, anxious, conditional. Respect comes from a man who values himself enough not to abandon himself for affection. Think about the men you've seen fall apart, the one who rearranged his entire life around her schedule. Friends faded, goals paused, gym memberships wasted. He thought devotion meant sacrifice. She told him she felt different lately and couldn't explain why. The one who revealed every emotional wound he ever had. He believed vulnerability would create closeness. At first, she listened. Then she pulled back. Then she left. Not because honesty is wrong, but because he had no emotional containment. He bled without control. The one who tolerated disrespect because he thought patience was maturity. He let jokes slide, boundaries blur, tone change. He didn't realize that peace bought with self-erasure always ends in resentment and loss of attraction. All men loved deeply. All men meant well. All men were confused when it ended. And society doesn't help you understand this. You're told real men are emotionally open, that boundaries are insecurity, that strength is outdated. You're taught to give endlessly without being taught how to regulate yourself. You're rewarded for emotional exposure, then punished for the consequences. The truth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Women don't feel safe with men they can emotionally control. They don't respect men who collapse under love. They don't trust men who have no center outside the relationship. Every woman feels something shift when a man would sacrifice his dignity just to be chosen. And when respect disappears, love follows slowly. Arguments increase, affection becomes conditional, loyalty turns situational. She says she's confused, you feel lost. And eventually she says she's not sure anymore. Not because you didn't love enough, but because you loved without structure. Here's the bitter truth, my friend, and I say this with empathy, not judgment. Women don't lose respect because men are too kind. They lose respect because men abandon themselves. The most attractive man is not the one who loves the hardest. It's the one who could love deeply and still be fine without her. A man who chooses, not needs. A man whose purpose doesn't shrink to make room for romance. Love is not proven by how much you sacrifice. It's revealed by how much you respect yourself. So where does that leave you? Not cold, not bitter, not emotionally shut down. It leaves you awake. You rebuild your center. You stop outsourcing your self-worth. You regulate your emotions instead of letting them run you. You speak less, but with weight. You love, but from abundance, not hunger. You understand that walking away is not cruelty. It's strength. That silence is not weakness. It's control. That being chosen means nothing if you had to disappear to earn it. Remember this, brother, and remember it deeply. Love doesn't destroy men. Men destroy themselves trying to be loved. And the moment you stop abandoning yourself, that's the moment respect, yours first, then theirs, returns. My brother, before this video ends, I want you to sit with one truth, just one, and let it settle inside you. You were never wrong for loving deeply. You were never weak for caring honestly. You were never foolish for believing that loyalty, patience, and emotional presence would be enough. Your mistake was not love. Your mistake was forgetting yourself inside it. No woman is meant to be the center of a man's world. A man's world must already exist before she enters it. The moment you shrink your purpose, silence your instincts, or bend your boundaries just to be chosen, you begin losing something far more important than her respect. You lose your own. And here is the painful part most men don't want to hear. A woman can feel when a man is choosing her and when he is clinging to her. One inspires admiration, the other creates pressure. Attraction does not die from kindness, it dies from emotional dependence. So if you loved too deeply and it cost you, do not harden your heart. Harden your spine. Do not close yourself emotionally, contain yourself emotionally. Do not chase love. Become the man love must catch up to. Build your body, build your discipline, build your mission. Let your presence speak louder than your explanations. Let your silence carry more weight than your apologies. Let your self-respect become so solid that love becomes a choice, not a need. Because the man who can walk away without hatred, the man who can be alone without fear, the man who loves without losing himself, that man is never forgotten. Remember this, brother. Respect begins the moment you stop abandoning yourself. And when you respect yourself deeply, the world, women included, responds accordingly. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Stay awake.